Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Fearless Millionaire Just Do It show. We have been on track to having some great interviews from a lot of great Fearless Millionaire members, and today I am really excited about the member that we're having on today because I've known this member for quite some time, but this time, hey, she's actually the first lady that we have interviewed here, and that's great because I know there's a lot of women in the group who are doing some big things, and they just need to, kind of get out there and get on the show a little bit, and we'll just share what they're doing, right? Because, and actually what I find sometimes, and this always comes up in the group, is I get more emails than I do anything, probably like more than text messages and stuff. And I'm always getting people saying, hey, I'm doing this or that, and this is happening. Well, so let me tell you something about our member here. And today, let me introduce you to Nicole Coleman. And I've known her for a while, and she will share her story on the show today. But I want to tell you why I had to have her on. Because just recently, she called me. She's like, you are not going to believe what's happening. And I just, like, whenever I get those phone calls and that kind of excitement, I'm like, I just stop everything. I got to hear this, because I know it's really good, and I know it's tied to and aligned with what the person's goals and passion is because of the excitement behind it, and that's a very powerful thing. So I had to get her on the interview here today to share with you some of the cool and great things that she's doing. So Nicole, thanks so much for being on the show and sharing your story today.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity to share my story today. I know that there's people out there who have possibly or maybe going through the same thing that I am, and so I'm excited about the opportunity to possibly inspire and motivate others to action.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And from as long as I've known you, you've been having that kind of history, though, Cole, is like you've had this history of like inspiring other people. I remember you even telling me stories that you've had women over the years in different positions, like whether it was work or whether it was friends, or, you've had women over your life saying like they've looked up to you, they've asked you for advice. But, before we dive into all that, I'd love to hear you share a little about your background and your story. Like, tell us about, how you got started. And I know you're recently getting into business and you've been in business, but first tell us about you and who you are. Give us a little background story about you.
A little background story about me. Well, I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. I lived in Chicago for about 6 years, and now I'm residing in Charlotte for about, 6 years now. Hopefully I'm not moving. I like it here. So
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I've been in sales for a majority of my work career, and first starting off with multi-level marketing, and then into real estate, selling courses and coachings and programs. And then now I'm working for a company that sells business journal publications. So, yeah.
Wow. It sounds like to me, you like you said, you had a background in sales. Let me ask you a question. What got you into sales? Like, was it by accident or was it on purpose?
I think it was actually by accident. Yeah. I went to a meeting because a good friend, was like, hey, would you show up? It's going to be some great information. I'm like, all right, I'll support you, basically. So I went and learned the information, and then I said, this is something that people could use. And then I just decided, hey, let's get started.
Right. Let's do this. That actually sounds like a similar story for me, because I remember the first meeting I ever went to, it was on Amway, network marketing for Amway. And actually I went to a meeting for a friend, and he said, hey, can you come with me? Because I need to bring someone. Mm-hmm. And he was like brand new into the business. So I went and I sat there, and I didn't know what the heck he was going to say, and he barely knew what he was doing. But while he was sitting there, I was literally like looking at the brochure and the potential money you could make, and then I got interested. So yep. That's actually, that's how I got into it. So let me ask you this, because I know there's a lot of Fearless Millionaire members who are in sales, whether they have their own business or they're in a job selling. I truly believe, and you tell me if you believe in this too. I believe that, we are all salespeople. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. At some capacity, we are all in sales. Absolutely.
Yeah, because we have to sell ourselves every day on who we are, where we're going, what we're going to do,
Exactly.
and things we need to get done, right? So tell, you said you got into sales kind of accidentally, which I think a lot of people actually do. I think there's always that negative connotation or negative thought process to sales is like, this bad person or whatever comes to people's minds. And I think, what would you say, like when you got into it, what would you say was your biggest like hurdle and challenge? Like, what would you say was like, whoa, this is brand new. Like, what would you say is the biggest thing that you challenged when you got started?
I think for me, it was probably overcoming objections.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, you just kind of figure out what people are asking the most, and then you just say, hey, this is really how you figure, or this is how you overcome it. It's like the same 10 things over and over again. So it's not like it's really hard, and they can transfer through different businesses. Like people say, well, I don't have enough money or the time or, those things. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The usual objections, I don't have time. I don't have money. Got to talk to my spouse. Let me think about it. All those common sales objections. So yeah, that's great. You learned that early on and got through that. So you said you went through, a few different either companies or like, so I know we're leading up to where you're at today, which I can't wait for you to tell everybody what that is, but kind of give us, tell us about like, what was your worst day in sales? Do you remember? Do you remember like one of those worst days? Like the days I made no money.
Oh Do I have I'm sure I have a worst day. Do I remember it? Oh, wow.
Like sale gone bad or something, or, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Well, how about your best day? Like, what was your favorite day or a memorable day that you had when in sales and in the opportunities you've been in?
Okay. I have one of those. So, I think it was going to be my first coaching sale. It was my first time meeting like a goal for $30,000 in a week or something like that, I believe. And so I ended up needing about $800 or $900 left. I stayed until midnight to get that.
Right. That's crazy.
So I can accomplish the goal.
Exactly. That's a great point. And, that's actually, I want to share, I'm glad you brought this up because I remember you telling me this story. I remember experiencing it, but I remember how you've told me before, like I remember we've chatted about this before. That was your best day, but I'll tell you this. You the fact stayed until you achieved your goal.
Right.
That is huge. Like that's going to the finish line, right? That's going to the end where so many people like would be like, oh no, I'll get it tomorrow. Or, oh, I came close, but I never achieved it. And you know what? You didn't give up. You probably just totally determined. Right. And that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. That's huge. Wow. Let me ask you this. What's your favorite part about sales? Like, what's your favorite part? Because you said you're doing sales and you're going to tell us about your new thing that you got working on. But tell us before that, what's your favorite part about sales?
I honestly realized at first I thought it was the money, but then I realized that I really truly love and enjoy helping people. Like that's where my heart is. My heart is for the person that I'm talking to or selling or whatever the product is. Yeah, my heart is for the person and helping them accomplish whatever it is that they want to achieve from what I'm selling.
Awesome. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, finding the problem and fulfilling it with what you have. That's huge. That is sales, actually. I think maybe you can agree or disagree with me with this, but I think when I first came into sales, I thought, and I don't even know. I feel like I've always been selling. I remember I remember when I would like set up in my house, I would set up like all these different like games and stuff. Like it was almost like Chuck E. Cheese for my cousins. And I would charge my cousins. Like I told them to go, like they would come over and I say, okay guys, next week there's going to be Chuck E. Cheese at my house. Make sure you tell your parents to bring you $10 and when you come. And so they literally brought me $10 or $5. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Yeah. And when they would come, I had all these games set up and I actually gave them Chuck E. Cheese tickets and coins to use for the games. And I'm not kidding you. My cousins can attest to this. I think and they even won prizes. Like I even had prizes for them. I must have been like 15 years old. So I feel like I've always been selling, but my method of sales was never like find a problem, fulfill a need. It wasn't like higher end sales. It was like basic down and dirty sales. It was just like, here's something, give me your money. Here's something, give me your, like pushy sales. It was pushy sales.
Like a car.
And like car, well, yeah, I don't want to put all car salesmen under the bus, but it was just like super, super pushy. Yeah. And there was never finding the value. It was never like finding the problem that people have and fulfilling it and adding value to their life. It was nothing like that. And today, and you're obviously experienced with that because you've been doing this for so long, that you have that experience and knowledge. And so, drum roll, please. The reason why I wanted you to come share with other women in the group, the other Fearless Millionaire women that are members. But more importantly, I want you to share what you have been working on. But like, tell us a little bit about like you've been in sales and how did you come to what you're doing? Tell us what you got started coming up here and launching real soon, and also what got you to this point of starting this company.
Well, I think for me, like I was excited about the multi-level marketing businesses that I was with, and I had success with the first one. I didn't really do too well with the second one, but I think because well, I'll just go back. So with the first one, I had some success, and then I moved to Charlotte. And then I realized, I don't have the same kind of support that I have had in Indianapolis here.
Sure.
So I just decided that, I'm not going to pursue it anymore. I'll just go ahead and sit back and collect the residual income, and that's just that. So I guess basically fear set in. There wasn't the support, and I didn't want to do it. And
well, you probably felt like you said. Hold on, let me stop you there. You said that you didn't have a support team, so it almost felt like your support team was over there and in a whole nother location, and you were in a different. So it was almost like, well, I don't want to do it alone, right? Is that how you felt? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah. So then, I guess I took another stab at it. I got a phone call and friend was really excited about this new company that was just launching, and then I realized that I had actually tried their products in the mall kiosk years ago, and so I'm like, well, those products are awesome, so I can stand behind that. Why not? Let's do this. So I got excited and jumped on board, and then I realized I'm the only one in this area doing this, and they were like, well, you could be the pioneer. I'm like, no, I don't want that responsibility. That's a lot of work.
Right.
Then I said, all right, well, that's not going to work either. Well, I guess a few years went by and no talk of business or, any interest of starting anything. Then maybe a couple of things. I had some ideas, but the idea of setting up the website and getting the company registered and doing marketing. Like, these are all things that you have to do to get your business going. And I'm like,
right.
I just want to make the product or do the job and then get paid. Like, all the rest of the stuff, I wasn't interested in.
Right.
So, how I got started to where we are now is that one day, I'll have to say this before I say that, is that probably for the last, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 years, I've been on this path of learning about natural, raw herbs, essential oils, and, just incorporating it into our lives instead of get off of medications and chemicals and things, because they're harmful to our bodies. So one day I ran out of my $4 lip balm, and I decided that I didn't want to buy any more lip balm. There had to be a way to make it.
For $4. Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. No, you know what? Wait, hold on. I got to tell the members here something. I got to say something. Two things. One, first of all, I want to let you guys know that actually I've known Nicole for a long time, and she is like, one, she's the most organized person I've ever met. But two, she's super like knowledgeable about like organic and health. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface. She knows things that I think even some doctors don't even know. Seriously, like she's really smart in this area. So if you're ever like looking to get more healthy and what you should eat, and listen, I'll be honest with you. I used to make fun of Nicole. I'm serious. She eats like gluten-free, but then she enlightened me about like the stuff that's in the food, and I was like, whoa. And she's actually, some of the tips she's given me has helped me out. Now, I totally respect gluten-free people, of course, but I always just bust your chops. But the other thing I want to tell you was I actually forgot. But get with if you do. Yeah, I forgot what it was.
We were talking about $4 lip balm.
Yeah, the $4 lip balm. That's what it was. A lot of people have started businesses because one, they either didn't have the resources, like in their, not in their life, but they didn't have like the resources in like maybe starting a business or something. So they're like, oh, forget that. And other people like yourself has started a business because they're like, man, this is like, I love this product. I use it, but I know I can either come out with something even better and something more affordable. And that's how other businesses are created. So I just wanted to share that, but yeah, please continue. Yeah, good stuff.
So I decided that day I was going to do some research, find out what the best ingredients were to use to have a really good lip balm, because I wanted something that was obviously comparable to what I was buying. And then I guess it just started from there. I ended up making like, I don't know, a huge batch of this stuff because I didn't know how many tubes I needed or anything like that. So it's so funny because I actually ended up putting them in, those little paint canisters that you can just pour paint in. They're like little clear, they come in like a little round.
Oh yeah, the little like round cylinder ones.
Yeah. So I ended up pouring the lip balm.
Wait. How round and deep was this thing?
They're like this. They're not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I'm thinking it's like this round, and you're like, holding.
Well, no, you just use it with your fingers. So.
Okay.
So anyway, I ended up having all these little tubes. I'm like, I could never use all of these anytime soon. So why not share it with my friends and family? So I said, all right. Well, let's just share these. And then a few weeks go by and I'm like, I should ask and see what they think about this stuff. So I started asking for feedback, and I got lots of positive feedback. And even a few people were like, I want to buy this when I'm done with the sample. I said, all right.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just decided that I was going to look into that. So then I dragged my feet for like a month or a month and a half. And I really got motivated, Nate, when my friend told me that she was going to start a product line, an all natural product line, and she was going to include lip balm. And I said, because she had a sample of my lip balm.
This girl's gonna get it.
Motivated me to get started, honestly. That is what motivated me to move forward. I said, this cannot work like this. We know too many of the same people. I've got to get my ball rolling.
Wow. Hold up. External pressure. This is an important part you're talking about right here, because so many people have these ideas. And like you said, you were open and honest. Thank you for your open and honesty. But you sat on this idea. You just sat on it. You thought about it. But it wasn't until like this external pressure, like, oh, maybe this could be my competition or whatever. And it wasn't until that external pressure that like pushed you to move forward. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, that's huge. All right, go ahead. I'm listening. Go for it. Wow.
And so basically, I didn't even mention, like, I've just started all natural product line. Just a few products. just a few products like lip balm and hand sanitizer, body scrub. My baby, my passion, I won't mention today. You guys will have to see it online.
Oh, all right, wait, hold on. Here's the plug. We have to see online. So what's your website? What's the name of your company? What's the website URL? Tell us.
Nicoles.com.
That's naturals.com.
Yeah, .com.
Okay. And I'll put the link in the description, everyone, so you can see it. So click on the link. You'll see it there in the description.
Thank you. So then I'm like, okay, well, here we go. Back again. Like, I'm excited about the product. I'm ready to move forward, but I have to have a logo, a business name for that matter.
Right. Yeah. What's the name of your company? Lip balms, body scrubs. What do you need?
Essential oil blends,
Essential oils, yeah.
So I start just, doing a little brainstorming with some names. And then all the names were taken, even if I tried to spell them wrong. Like, okay, well, this is not working. So I finally just decided to pray on it.
Yeah.
And I prayed. And on my way to work the very next day, it came to me, back to naturals. And I'm like, no, that's got to be taken. It's too simple. Like, all these natural lines out here, it's got to be taken. And it wasn't. And I said, all right, thank you. Thank you.
That's the one.
Yes. So, but everything has really been lining up like one after another since then. I have my friends who are helping me, with the logo of the business. They have businesses, so they're telling me, what my next step is, like registering the business and, just that kind of thing. And I can say I'm honestly blessed to have these people in my life to help me, because I wouldn't be this far. Have them and the external motivation. I shall make sure I have that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Wow. That's better than actually when you first told me. Actually, now that I hear like the whole deep story, because let me tell you guys, when Nicole first called me, like, and she's on fire. Whenever she's into something, she's passionate and she's on fire about it. And so when she called me, I was like, yeah, like, what is up? This is awesome. And I was like, do you ship internationally? And she's like, we're getting there. No, but seriously, like, this is such a good thing, and this is a perfect example, Nicole, of how many people have this idea, this dream sitting inside of them. Like, it's just sitting there, and yet they don't know maybe what to do, how to get started. So I want you to just take a few minutes, and as long as you want, actually, I want you to just kind of, if there's someone listening right now, and they are in that same position that you were in a month before you got started in the thought process, you were thinking. So what would you tell them? What would you say to them if they were just like you right now? They're in that position of just thinking, and they have this idea and dream that they want to do something but don't know what to do. What would you tell
them? I would honestly say, use your resources. Ask the people around you that have already done it, and then let them help you, guide you along through the process. But don't sit on your dream, because I didn't, and like you said, I did not know that this was going to be the business for me. I didn't even know that I was actually going to be having my own business. I knew I tried, because I've had so many friends along the way who've had their own businesses, and I'm like, well, maybe that's just not for me, and that's okay.
Right.
It's all good. But I think that finally I found something that is truly my passion, that first of all, it means something to me personally, and this is what I live by, and to be able to share it with other people, I would do it for free. I would. And so I guess, just, make sure that it's something that you would do for free, and utilize your resources.
Yeah. That's a powerful statement you made. I've said this so many times, but I'm glad it's coming from you this time, because I think people can hear it from me and they're like, yeah, Nate, sure, whatever. No, but seriously, actually, in the book, on the Fearless Millionaire website, there's the book of Discovering Your Passion, The Secret to Discovering Your Passion. And it actually talks about what you're saying, Nicole. It says that, find that thing that you just truly love, that you would do it for free. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to do it for free, but it's just comes so natural. You enjoy it so much. It's like money wouldn't, if money wasn't an object or if it didn't matter in this world, you would do that. You would do that thing. And then what you need to do is structure a business around it. Structure a business around it, have a product, have an offer, have a service, and then start asking for the money to pay for your time to live the life that you want. And sometimes people get wrapped up in that. They're like, but I would do it for free anyway. Well, yeah, that's because you love it so much. So let's create an income out of it so that you can do it, even if it's starting off part-time.
Yep.
I gotta jump in here and say this, that some people don't start things, or they think they have to just jump in business. They need all this capital. I'm talking to a lot of people I know that are watching this right now, that they think they need all this capital to get started. They think they need all this money, all these resources, and they're looking for investors. Don't get me wrong. You can start that way. It is a lot more difficult, but I think a much better way is you start from the grassroots and you work on building your product, you building your service, you get sales, and you tweak along the way. And that's how you should build your company. And then you can go get funding. Then you've already had sales. It's just like in that show, which you've probably seen it, Nicole, Shark Tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, time after time, investors will come to the Shark Tank. And don't get me wrong, some of them have an idea, but they have it protected with a patent.
Right.
But most of the time, like 98% of the time, those sharks, those investors, they are looking for something, and they always say, do you have sales? What are your sales? Yeah. Right? And that's so important. So I love how you shared this, that you started a business, and it doesn't have to be full-time yet, but you build on it and you build on it and you grow it. And one day it will replace your primary income. One day it will get you to live the life that you truly desire, and it won't feel like work. Do you agree? Does it feel like work to you?
No. Yeah, no. It doesn't feel like work at all. It just, it's just something that I do for myself. So it's like, share it, it's definitely not work for me. Yeah. And then I would say, don't feel like you have to have everything done right now to get started. Like, in the beginning, you might not see all of my products, but later on down the road, there'll be some more added. I have a vision for what I want, but you might not see them all on the website in the beginning. And I know that I can start with my lip balm and then from there, Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, you bring up a great point, because a lot of people think they need everything to get started. And I got a personal story. I'll keep it really short too. There was one time I was getting into my consulting business, and I actually thought in my mind that before I got started, I needed to have a certain kind of computer. Like in my mind, I needed this like super good computer because of, I'm going to consult, I'm going to these offices, and that actually stopped me for a number of months because I had to save. I was actually in this position where I didn't have a whole bunch of money, and I was like saving toward, and it was like, really, do I really need the best technology? You don't actually. So I love what you said. You need to just get started.
That's it.
And take action. I wanted to ask you this. Did you have any moments in your life where maybe you shared this idea or your new venture here, and you shared it with people and they kind of didn't really like it, or they were like, ah.
Of course.
Yeah. Tell them, what was it? What happened? You don't have to say any names. You don't have to say any names. But
well, I'll say my dad.
Okay. How did that go?
Well, I realized along the way that he grew up in a different time than I did. They got jobs and they relied on, their pension and 401k and that kind of thing. And so, but it was discouraging. Now I actually just had lunch with him last Friday, and I told him all about it, and he's actually given me ideas. He wants me to hire him as my consultant. What?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so great. That is so great.
It is.
Oh man. And you know, that just brings back to the point, the lesson that sometimes even the closest people,
Mhm.
family members, close friends, they might not be on the same level. They may not be in that same thinking when you present an idea, when you like share something you're working on. They might be, even the closest people to you may say, "Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?" You know, and you're thinking like, man, I thought this person would have at least supported me. I mean, they are my sibling, brother, sister, father, mother, whoever it is, my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And you think they're the ones that are going to be right there with you. But love your family, pick your peers.
That's
Love
right.
your family, pick your peers. And that's truly what it's all about. So you had a very close experience with that, being your own dad, and now he's on board with you. That's
Yeah.
like he's like all in it.
He is.
That's
He
huge.
is. Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. Sometimes, and I know I don't want to get too deep with this, but sometimes like our dads, you know, can be like the biggest influence in
Mm-hmm.
our life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I remember coming up and, you know, when I was getting started, I always looked at my dad and I was like, man, that is like just, he's got a bar like really high, you know, and I never felt like I could hit that bar, right? Like that, those standards were like way too high, right? And some people have different experiences. Some people have all kinds of different experiences, but we always feel as kids that, man, there's always a thing that can hit us in our mind, right? Whether it's, oh, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to hold me back? And, you know, their words can influence us. So let me ask you a question about friends, peers. You know, what did you do when your dad first said you're crazy? Whatever he said, you're crazy and all that. What did you do? Like, did you find someone? Like, how did you continue it? Where did you find the motivation?
I think I just believed in myself a little bit more than he did. And so I was like, I'm gonna try this thing. Whatever it was. I think it was probably network marketing. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna find the most successful person and I'm gonna be successful too. And so I'm gonna prove them wrong. That was my motivation.
Right. Prove them wrong. I love it. It's so true. That's so true. Prove them wrong. We all need to get a shut up check in our life. You know,
Yep.
shut up check is when you make a lot of money from something that people told you couldn't do it, and you're like, shut up. Look what I did.
Here it is.
Look what I did. Yeah, you know. And I'm glad you're. What's that? Say it again.
So now let me take you to dinner.
Right. Now let me buy you dinner. That's so true. Wow, that is such a great story. That is truly awesome. During this journey that you've had, you know, from before you got started, during, and even now, has there been any moments moments of self-doubt, but also fear? You know, have there been moments for you where you were just like, whoa, you know, am I shooting down a rabbit hole here?
Well, in the past, yeah, I mean, there were, but like with my new venture with Back to Naturals, I haven't felt any fear at all. It's just been like the Most High is truly blessing me every step of this way. It's almost as if I was created to do this. You know, like this was part of my purpose. And
right.
So, yeah, so I haven't had any fear or setbacks at this point. Like this is still very new though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have anything.
Oh no. Well, actually, you're saying what you're saying is so true though. Like, of course, you're gonna have setbacks, challenges, ups and downs in your business, of course. But you said something so powerful that I just went through. I just took about 7 people, including myself. So 7 people through the Fearless Millionaire Freedom Formula, and this just came up, like literally. What day or whatever, like 2 or 3 days ago. Okay. And in the group, I was telling people, because we're on the part about not this idea of not working anymore. Like, what is that like? But also, even on a deeper level, knowing that what your purpose is, like you found your calling. It's just a part of you that it doesn't feel like work. And one of the things that was brought up, I said, when you feel and you're operating in this purpose, Where is fear? That was the question I asked people. And you know what almost everyone said? Like one person didn't respond, but almost everyone said, well, there is none. Right. And I said, exactly. Yeah. And exactly. Fear goes away. Why? Because you're operating in your fullest. You're operating in your purpose. And so many people will like, they're focused on the fear because they're like, should I do this? Is it a part of me? Is this where I'm supposed to be? But when you know it's a part of you, you take the fear like your external pressure, right? You moved it into outside of you, and you said, okay, there's my fear. I got a person on my tail. I got to move forward and do this. And you move forward in your purpose. And so many people that doesn't click right away. That doesn't click right away. Most people think like, how do I overcome my fear? I just take action. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fear, like when you take action, fear tends to like disappear. It does. However, when you are operating in your gift, your purpose, your unique ability, it's like there is no fear. It's like you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I can truly, you said it perfectly, because that's exactly what more people need to understand and realize, is that when they understand that what their purpose and calling is, they identify those fears and they know it's like, whoa, that's not even, it's not real, and it's just stopping me from doing my purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very powerful. That's huge. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. So again, I do appreciate you taking the time to come and share you know, what you have and your story and your business. But I do also want you to repeat what you do, right? Your website and what you offer, because I know there's people on that watch this video and they need this. This is a trend. This is not a trend. I know it's becoming more and more popular, like eating healthy and taking care of yourself. So this is not a trend. It's not a fad. It's not going away. It's, well, if it is a trend, it's going up. But this is actually becoming a part of life. This is a part of like the Fearless Millionaire lifestyle is about eating better, living more healthy. So could you please repeat and tell us like about your website and what the products you have on there, by the way?
Okay, sure. So my website is backtonaturals.com. And basically it's just all natural products. I do have a partner, just acquired. Well, yeah, we just made a partnership like yesterday or the day before, but she has, and I'm going to mention those first. She has mouthwash and toothpaste and deodorant and body butter. And they're all great products. I used them before, you know, I said, hey, you want to be my partner? And then I'm doing lip balm, hand sanitizer, and body scrub. I also have 5 different essential oil blends. And everything okay?
Yeah, no.
5 different essential oil blends.
Listen, I didn't want to stop you from your product lineup, but I have to interrupt you because you bring up a good point. Partnerships. I don't want to get off this interview without talking about just 2 seconds about partnerships here, because you found someone who was already doing it, and instead of like, you know, oh, that person's doing it, right? Let me stay away from them. You brought them in.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Tell us about that. What did you say, and how did you approach this person? Because let me tell you, a lot of people struggle with this part right here. So how did you approach her, and tell us how that went down?
Okay, so she's actually one of the members at my church, and she had told me that she made her own deodorant and stuff, and so here I am, I'm running out. Let me try first. Yeah. So I said, hey, could I buy, you know, some of your deodorant? I know you said you make it and, you know, you're having a, you know, pretty good success with it. So I'd like to give you some money and try it out. And she's like, well, I would just like to make it and give it to you, and then you can give me your feedback. And I said, okay. Well, I get to her house and she has all of her products for me. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try them all out. So I tried them out. And then I think she called me a few days later and I said, you know what? I'm really loving it. The deodorant is working well. The toothpaste is awesome because it's like with the activated charcoal. And mouthwash, I don't really use mouthwash, but I use hers every day now. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's just, I mean, it's good. And but I think it was honestly, I operated off of the Holy Spirit just telling me, hey, you know what? Here's another sister who is obviously, you know, making her own product. She has a little bit of fear and anxiety about starting the business just like I did. So wait, why don't we just partner up? Why don't I'm already, you know, starting this business, and since our products, you know, aren't competing with one another, let me just ask her if she wants to come on board. And she said, you know, I wasn't gonna ask you, but I'm on board. So I thought that was definitely the Holy Spirit, because she said she didn't want to ask, but something came over her to say, wow, I wish I could ask her.
Wait. Listen to me. No, because this is the shit. Listen to me. No, because listen, this is the difference. Listen, if you're listening to this interview right now, you need to understand this. And I am so honest with what I'm about to say. The difference between Nicole and that woman was she already had this fearless millionaire mindset going, right? She operated with saying, you know what? I feel it. Should I approach her? Should I ask her? And she took action. Nicole, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You heard her say, oh, I thought about it, but I wanted to ask. See how she was held back? You already been renewing your mind. You've already been, like you said, you've been tapping into prayer. You've been tapping into scripture. You've already been renewing your mind. So for you, it was like, I'm there. I'm in my calling. I'm in my presence. And she was still, you know, and more power to her. She'll get there, but she was not there yet like you were. And that's what's so powerful, because it's those little moments. It's those little moments that make all the difference. And, you know, most people wouldn't consider a partnership. They think they have to do it all alone, right? I mean, that's what most people think. They try to start their business. They go at it all alone. But sometimes a partner can actually be a great asset to the business. Is that what you saw in her? You saw something in her, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually told her the other day, I said, you know, I gave you an assignment and you completed it, and I haven't done my part yet. So this is going to be a great partnership.
Right? Accountability. I mean, it's, oh, wow. This is a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yes, it is. All praises. Yeah. Yes, it is.
That is awesome. Like, gosh, like, man, like, I can't make this stuff up. I can tell your story, but hearing you ask that woman, that your partner, hearing you, the way you asked her and all that, and then she was reserved, that is it. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Yeah. That's the breakthrough. Those are the breakthrough moments. Yeah. And just the fact you took action, you went ahead, you felt it, and you moved forward, that's huge. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Wow. I knew we had to talk about partnerships there. I know it was more than 2 seconds, but who cares? This is what it's all about.
It is. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So,
gosh, all right. Yeah.
Back to my essential oil blends.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your product line, but I had to. Yes, so essential oil blends.
Yes. So I'm gonna do one for immune support. I have one for digestive support, one for muscle and joints, and then another one for, oh my goodness, why isn't it coming to me? Oh.
Well, no, wait. It's okay. They'll have to check the website.
Yeah. Thanks, Nate.
If you want to see what other goodies Nicole had, why don't you get over to her website and check that out?
That's right.
And you know, when we get off this interview, Nicole, I thought of like three different things I want to share with you business wise. But I just want to wrap this interview up for our viewers and for the members. Yeah. First of all, Nicole, again, thank you so much for sharing your story, your advice, and everything that you've gone through, and the fact that you were sitting on things, you were procrastinating, you were just thinking, but yet you still took action, right? You took action, you were mindful, your awareness was up, and you thought about this and you took action regardless, even though you didn't have all the pieces together. Yes. And even maybe you still might feel some days that you don't have all the pieces together, you're still taking action. And thank you so much for sharing that. That's so important. So thank you for being with us today, by the way.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate you asking me to do this interview. So, thanks.
Absolutely. So everyone, in closing, I want to remind you that it's not about where you are in your journey. It's not about where you're at today. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. Doesn't matter how many connections you have. Doesn't matter how many resources. Doesn't matter if you have a bunch of friends and family saying you can't do this and you're crazy. It doesn't matter. What matters is the action that you take today. You've heard what Nicole said. If you're a woman, you're a man, it doesn't matter. It's the point of taking some form of action every day. Stop sitting on your dream. Stop sitting on your calling and your purpose. Identify what that is and stay strong. Stay strong in the moments that you feel like you're about to give up, right? Finish strong. Finish to the end. Go to the end. I'll leave you with this. I started running about 3 months ago, and one of my coaches talks to me in my ear when I'm running. He says, it doesn't matter how fast or how far you go. What matters is that you finish strong. And what matters is not how the journey of 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. He says, don't worry about that. The only thing you have to worry about is the next step you're about to take. And wow, when I heard that, I was like, that is huge. That is it. That is the thing. So that's why you hear me say, take one small step every day. Take one step on your goals, on your dreams, because eventually, every day, when you take those steps, you will get to your destination. So thank you so much for joining us in this episode with Nicole Coleman and her website. Be sure to check out her link, get on her website, order some products, and start taking in those healthy products into your life. Live healthy, and I will see you on the next episode.